is an origin reading for Family of Light. So as I was getting the code name, as you can probably guess, I was picking up on several people around you, and they're all coming in with this kind of bright white light, almost like the color of moonlight. And I had one guide come up here first, which very much feels like a master guide, male. And I am not sure where he's coming from yet, but I get the distinct feeling, and I'm getting it again. He is not from the same place as some of these others around you who are calling themselves the Family of Light. So this master guide is not exactly of the same energy as them, and so I'm going to have to kind of pick up on his energy and pick up on theirs, because his energy is definitely distinctly different, and I couldn't really tell exactly where from right off, but I'm not sure if that's important or not, since I know that isn't your origin. Okay, so I'm going to get into the crystals. That's what I'm feeling. Okay, so I'll start with Isis. This is what I used to surround the room and to surround us. As you can see, she has the wings going on here. And then I have these 4 crystals. The only crystals that I pulled this time were white. So this always represents to me a higher energy coming in. It can represent other things too, clearing, stuff like that, but normally it does represent like either an angelic frequency specifically, or some type of extraterrestrial energy. But then with Isis there too, this might be a kind of angelic frequency, but don't quote me on that, because I haven't fully felt them out yet. So this was my selenite wand. This is my quartz wand here. And then I have 2 others here. So I have 2 wands, and then I have 2 that are kind of more round. So I have my intensionite, which you're not going to find anywhere on the internet if you look it up. I don't know how the lady even had that. I've never been able to find anything about intensionite. This is my crystal quartz. So those are some of the energies coming in at the very start of the reading. Okay, so there was a couple of other things that were coming through at the very beginning when I was getting the code name, and he's kind of reminding me of this guide. And so for one, I saw your hands, and I got a feeling of energy coming through them. So this felt like healing to me, and like a healing ability that they were pointing out. And then on the other hand, I was seeing definitely a mediumship ability. So this is the ability not only to sense out frequencies around you from different entities, spirits, but this is also the ability to communicate with them, to connect with them and communicate with them so they can give you messages, like what I'm doing now, basically. Okay, and now I'm seeing Gandhi's face right next to yours coming in. So you've got some ascended master energies around you as well, and I'm getting the feeling from your guides almost like you're young, but you're a very old soul. And not only that, almost like you are accomplished at the same time. Like there's a level of grace and understanding that you have, that you carry with you. So you have a presence with you that comes from other lifetimes, and an understanding that you have that has been, they're almost saying gifted to you through going through various trials in other lifetimes. You developed a grace and an understanding, they're saying, that you carry throughout this lifetime and other lifetimes as well. Okay, they're showing me my Isis necklace, and they're giving me a feeling of an Egyptian lifetime that you had. Okay, and I'm also getting a feeling of a connection to Sirius. That is not the origin, though. They're giving me that feeling that is not the origin. But the Egyptian pantheon and Sirius are very much connected to each other. And a 55 coming in. I'm looking at the clock. It's 3:55. Okay. So some master numbers coming in. Well, you do have this master guide, and you have some ascended master energies around you. And they're saying influences around you. So also at the beginning of the reading, when I start the reading and I'm getting the code name, and I start by surrounding the room in positive energy, then I surround myself, then I surround the person that I'm reading in positive energy. And when I'm doing that, I play some kind of music, like meditation music or what have you, and it's whatever I'm drawn to. So I have like a playlist of different songs for my readings, and so this time I felt drawn to crown chakra meditation specifically. And now they're giving me this feeling of like your crown chakra being very open, being very wide open, and the crown chakra has to do with mediumship specifically as well. But also they were showing me like a baby with these very light crystal kind of blue eyes, and giving me this feeling of like how a child is very wide open and they see things. And so they were giving me a feeling of clairvoyance, and part of this is because of how open you are, how wide open your crown chakra is, and they don't want that to leave you, this imagination. So at the same time of having this understanding and being almost older than you are, at the same time you have this kind of kid-like quality, and they don't want you to let that go. They want to see you carry that through your lifetime as well. No matter how long you are on the earth plane, that is something that they want you to have. Because they're saying that it's something instinctual to you, and it's something that most people tend to lose along their way. They lose this more and more. Some people, they get it back when they are older. For some people, it just drains out of them more and more and more. But they're also saying, but even if they get some of that back when they're older, they relax more, they're retiring or whatever, so they're relaxed more. At the same time, they're saying, at least if they have aged, right, they're retiring and all of that stuff. But, and your guides are saying that specifically. But at the same time, they're saying, even though they're more relaxed now, at the same time, they have accumulated all of these various programmings, and so a lot of times they're still stuck in their ways. There are some things that they're just incapable of removing. And so this openness, being wide open, does not just allow you to be clairvoyant. It also allows you to see things for what they are, to see programmings and understand them, to understand yourself and your unique nature, and not fall into a lot of the pitfalls that a lot of other people fall into, or to categorize yourself in a certain way. They don't want you to call yourself a star seed. Um, and you do carry a crystal energy, a crystalline energy. They're letting you know that. You're certainly drawn to star seed things. You've also had lifetimes here as well, a lot of lifetimes on the earth plane. I get the feeling from them, like a few, not so many as you've had in other places. And so, yes, you can certainly relate to star seeds, to the star seed calling. Being drawn to do a certain thing here. So they're talking about the star seed mission, in other words, what a lot of people call that. But at the same time, they're saying, even though you carry certain injury, I almost said injuries, energies, what am I saying? Even though you carry certain energies and they're coming in with influence, and she's just letting me know you're saying injuries because this is almost like a mix of energies and influences. Okay, so energies, even though you do carry certain energies with you, and they are letting you know what these certain energies are that you contain, that you possess, and that you've had with you along the way. So she's saying they've accumulated. I have a female here talking now. She's been talking for a while, even though I have this master guide here too. So I'm saying she also. But even though you have these various energies at the same time, they don't want you to label yourself, even though they're speaking about some specific energies like starseed, yes, crystal, yes. And in a way, indigo, no. At the same time, they don't really want you to categorize yourself, or like, if it's helping you understand more who you are and how your energies work, then great. They're saying that's what those labels are there for. That's what categorizing yourself can be used for. So it can be used in a positive way, in an uplifting way, like you can find others like you, and you can almost come into your place more, almost find yourself more, find where you fit. So it can be useful. But at the same time, they don't want you to like lock yourself into that type and say, this is all I can be, this is all I can do, because she's saying that's an, excuse me, that's an old way of thinking. So she's saying like new paradigm shift and all of that. You have to uncontain yourself, to shift from one way of being to another. You can't be locked into one way of being or being type. So she says you have to embrace all the facets of you, dear. She's calling you dear. You have to embrace all the facets of you. Okay, so she's saying they don't want to tell you your exact origin yet. They're saying that you're going to find out for yourself. She's saying that's a surprise, but they want to tell you where you have been before. They want to tell you some of the various places. Okay, Pleiades, Lyra, these are coming in. I get the feeling of, there are different races that come from different places. So just because it's from one place, it doesn't necessarily mean that it looks this way. But with Lyra, I am getting a feeling of like cat kind of people, which you'll sometimes hear about with Lyra. But that can be different. Like I said, there are many races from many places. That rhymed. But they are giving me a feeling of this cat-like type of energy being, but it is humanoid, obviously. I picked up on this before with Lyra too. This energy of almost like these huge plants, like they're humongous, like plants, like flowers almost that are like the size of a person. They're like as tall as you, and you can put your head, just put your face on the flower and sniff it. So that's, I believe, the second time that I've seen something like that associated with Lyra during a reading. That was a long time ago when I saw that before. Okay, and I get the feeling of almost like a human intelligence plant, or like beyond human intelligence plant. So like a soul that is greatly evolved, um, and can basically has the capacity to think however it wants. It can do most anything that it wants, but it is in like a plant form. It's not in like a human type of form or like a humanoid type of form. It is like a, a plantoid. Okay, whatever that is. Anyway, humanoid, plantoid. Sure, why not? But anyway, so it almost is like almost like an int. But I almost have the feeling that some of them are actually rooted. But I don't feel like they mind it. Like they don't feel like, oh, I want to go over there or something, even though they are extremely intelligent, like they can look out over everything. And now she's posing this question, why are we telling you this? Okay, but I'm getting the feeling from her that you were also this type of being as well. This was on Lyra too. So I am getting the feeling again, like you've been these various types of things. She's toying with you a little bit. I almost get the feeling like it could be the origin, Lyra. It could be the origin. Maybe. There's like this feeling like that. But then on the other hand, you know, it could be somewhere else. But I almost feel like she is hinting at that, but at the same time, she's not saying it for sure. Um, but yeah, she's kind of playing with you a little bit. Okay, so I have this master guide coming up, this male master guide. And I get the feeling you've been with him for a long time. I get this kind of Lyra feeling from him as well. You've known him from there as well. Or rather, he's been with you. Okay, so he must have been around you for a very long amount of lifetimes. I feel like you met him in Lyra, but I also feel almost like he comes from somewhere else. I think. I feel like this guide has traveled around. They feel very old, very old. And I just get the feeling from him almost like he has tapped into the knowledge of the universe, like the all. But at the same time, he doesn't claim to know everything. He's not saying he knows everything or even remotely near that. He's saying that no one can really know everything, but he knows a lot. He's seen a lot. That's what I get the feeling of. He's seen a lot. He's been a lot of places. He's seen a lot. He's engaged with a lot. That was his way of tapping into the universe. That's what he's talking about. He's not just talking about some kind of download of information or something like that. Although he's saying that can happen and did happen for him in different ways. But he doesn't mean he flew out there, with his mind either and touched, some cosmic light or something and downloaded a bunch of information. He doesn't really mean it like that. Although he says you can grasp that that's possible, but he's saying his understanding comes from being very, very old. Having a lot of lives, a lot of places that he's been, and conclusions that he has come to on his own. He says you might come to different conclusions when you are as old as him. So his conclusions aren't set. He's saying to never have a conclusion that is set, because he's saying that it's a waste of time. Because one day, a million years from now, a million's a long time. He's throwing that number around though. One day, a million years from now, you're going to have this revelation. Gee, that wasn't how I thought it was. And then you realize that you wasted all this time thinking that that was the way it was, and you were certain just to have that kind of what's dashed almost like he's using the word dashed. Usually that's like a negative thing, like your hopes are dashed or your understanding is dashed. But at the same time, he's not really taking it in a negative way. He's not really saying it in a negative way, but I get the feeling from him almost like that's a little bit what it felt like then when it happened, or when it would happen. This happened. This happened a few times with many things. He would come to conclusions and then realize that they weren't this way, perhaps several hundred years later, even. Or it could happen right away. He's saying it's better when it happens right away. But it can only happen right away when your mind is open, when it is pliable. So he's saying that you have this openness for a reason, this open heart chakra, he's saying, open mind, willingness to learn and look at things from a new perspective. He really feels very calm, very relaxing. And he's not really saying anything right now. I think we have a couple minutes left. He is saying that you can recognize him by like a calm feeling that you have. That is the way that he communicates to you. That's the way he lets you know he is there. And I almost get the feeling from him as like him being your guardian angel, even though he doesn't have wings. I didn't see wings with any of these people. Bright white light, and it could come across as angelic. And I even have Isis here who does have the wings, and so still a kind of angelic type of frequency, but at the same time, they don't really appear to be angelic types of beings, like an angelic type of being with like standard wings, you know? But they might almost come across that way to you. I get the feeling of, again, I'm getting Pleiades coming in. You definitely have a strong connection to Pleiades as well. This female guide is doing this again. She's like, maybe the origins Pleiades. Maybe it is. But they're not really going to say anything though. But just the way it feels, I feel more strongly Lyra than Pleiades, but maybe that's just the way that they're coming in with it. But that is the feeling that I get, almost like she's not quite as serious about the Pleiadian thing. But you definitely have a strong connection there as well. But she's saying that your roots are in Lyra, whether that is your origin or not. What do you mean by that? That's origin. Roots, that seems like origin. Okay, you know what? You're strongly rooted to Lyra. Whether that was the first place that you actually came from or not, you definitely chose to be there for a lot of incarnations. And you definitely have a strong influence from there, a lot of energies coming in from there. And this family of light around you is definitely coming from there, but I do feel some Pleiadian energies as well. There are some Pleiadians around you too. And I almost feel a little bit of a connection between this Lyra Pleiades thing with them also. There's kind of, it feels like there's kind of a connection between Lyra and the Pleiades. They kind of know each other, get along. They have connections for sure. Maybe even a little bit DNA wise or something even. I'm not 100% sure on that, but it almost feels a little bit like they are almost distantly related or something like that. It's almost feeling like. Okay, so he's just bowing like this. And he's stepping away. He doesn't have any more to say, the master guide. I thought maybe he would give his name, but he's not really doing that. And then she's just giving me the word elusive. They are being a little bit elusive right now. And I'm getting this word again, almost like they're toying with you a little bit. Like they're playing with you. Especially her. And then I'm getting a feeling coming from the whole group. Like a lot of love coming from the whole group, understanding coming from the whole group, wisdom coming from the whole group, and they're letting you know that they're placing that over you. A lot of your love and your wisdom and your growth, your understanding, is coming from them, or it doesn't come from them, but at the same time, they add more to it, they enhance it. When you allow them to do that, when you step into their energies more, as they're saying, as you are inclined to do, because you are a medium. So they're saying that you will be able to step into their energies. You'll be able to get messages from them. It's not that hard for you to get messages from them. And this guide is saying that they're not 100% saying that the origin is the Pleiades. The origin is, wait, Pleiades or Lyra? They're not 100% saying that the origin is Pleiades or Lyra. Just okay. You already said that. All right. So but she's just coming in. She's just coming in with that again. So again, they're saying like be open, be open. But it could be that. Okay. So yeah, so anyway, so you, just to conclude this, so yeah, you have this group energy around you, and they are really supporting you during your lifetime, and they're sending you a lot of, she's saying, good stuff. They're sending you a lot of good vibes, to really like ground you, in the present moment and throughout your lifetime, but almost like give you a secure feeling, like this is your domain, you can do this. And that presence that you feel around you, that you carry with you, where you know you are watched over, you know you got it, you know you got it handled, you know you can do it, and you have kind of this sense of purpose, of direction. This is with you, so they're saying that this is gonna guide you to that purpose, exactly what it is, this strong purpose that you have. They're saying this is gonna flower at the right time. Through perseverance and continuing to be open. Okay, so they're kind of answering the questions in an indirect way. They're kind of not exactly answering them. But anyway, so this is, all right, lots of energies. Okay, so that is the end of the reading, though. I still have a lot of energies around me, so I'm kind of talking a little weird right now. Okay, but thank you so much for allowing me to do this reading for you. And even though they didn't exactly come through in the way that you might have thought, or maybe this doesn't really surprise you, I'm sure you are pretty connected to them. Even if you don't know exactly who they are, I'm sure you're pretty connected to them. It sounds like to me, it feels like to me. So just know that this presence, this sense of safety, it almost feels like sometimes you feel this within yourself. Like you have this kind of understanding and kind of grace and presence, like what was coming through at the beginning. Know that that is not solely coming from you. It's also coming from them. So sometimes you feeling that is you feeling them. Okay, so thank you very much for allowing me to do this reading for you. And I truly hope that this helps you in some way. Thank you. Namaste.